Bombshell Gooners forget Julián Álvarez. A Brazilian striker who scored 22 Premier League goals last season has just emerged as Arsenal's plan B if a move for Álvarez proves impossible. Meanwhile, the deal for Jeremy Monga has just hit an unexpected obstacle and Andrea Berta needs to respond immediately. And finally, Arsenal have officially entered the race for a relegated West Ham star. But is it really a good idea? If you want all the details on these explosive stories as this transfer window gathers momentum, subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and let's get straight into it. Let's jump straight into the first story because this one has come completely out of nowhere. And according to RTI Sports in Brazil, Arsenal are keen to sign Brentford's Igor Thiago, with Mikel Arteta having been a fan of the player since before he even moved to England. The numbers first, because they are genuinely impressive. Thiago scored 25 goals in all competitions last season, 22 of which came in the Premier League alone. That is an extraordinary return for a striker at Brentford, and it represents exactly the kind of consistent, elite-level output that Arsenal have been missing when Gyökeres is not at his very best. Manchester United are also in the mix, with Thiago contracted to Brentford until the summer of 2031, meaning any deal will require serious financial commitment. But here is the honest assessment every Gooner needs to hear. And it starts with a comparison. Thiago is slightly taller than Gyökeres and shares a broadly similar physical profile to the Swede. Both are powerful, direct centre-forwards who thrive on service into the box. And that similarity is actually the problem. Arsenal already have Gyökeres. What they desperately need alongside him is not more of the same. It is something completely different. Julián Álvarez is different. He presses relentlessly, creates space with intelligent movement, and can play between the lines in ways that traditional number 9s simply cannot. That is the missing piece. That is what makes the difference between reaching a Champions League final and winning one. Thiago is an excellent Premier League striker, but he does not solve the specific problem that Budapest exposed. If Álvarez becomes genuinely impossible, blocked by Barcelona, outbid by PSG, or simply unwilling to return to England, then Thiago deserves serious consideration as a fallback. But Berta must exhaust every possible avenue for Álvarez first. Do not settle for similar when elite and different is still available. Now let's talk about the Jeremy Monga situation, because Arsenal insider Charles Watts has just appeared on Inside Arsenal with an update that reveals Leicester City are playing a very clever and calculated game, and Berta needs to respond with equal intelligence. Watts was frank about where things stand. At the moment, those talks are continuing with Leicester City to sign the talented left winger, 16 years old, and at the moment, an agreement hasn't been reached. I do expect that will happen at some point. It's just a case of the two clubs coming together and agreeing a package that Leicester feel is worthwhile. And then came the crucial detail that explains everything. Leicester are apparently content to let this go to a tribunal because they believe the fee set by a tribunal could actually exceed what Arsenal are currently offering. That is a calculated negotiating position, not a genuine reluctance to sell. Leicester know they have a generational talent on their hands and they are extracting maximum value by any means available to them. Arsenal's preference is clear: get this done without a tribunal. Cleaner, faster and less uncertain, and Watts himself expects a resolution eventually, which is encouraging. But eventually is not good enough in a summer transfer window where every week of delay matters. The plan for Monga once he arrives is also worth understanding clearly. This is not a player who walks straight into Arsenal's first 11. The expectation is that he trains with the senior squad, gets a real look during pre-season, and then goes out on a carefully selected loan, with the Onwaneri Marseille disaster firmly in mind as the template of what not to do. The right loan destination for Monga is arguably the most important decision Arsenal make in his entire early development. Berta offer Leicester a number that makes the tribunal option unnecessary and get this deal done. Monga chose Arsenal over Manchester City. Do not let paperwork and stubbornness be the reason this one slips away. Now let's talk about a story that requires a very honest conversation, because Foot Mercato are reporting that Arsenal have officially joined the race to sign Crysencio Somerville from relegated West Ham. And the blunt truth is that this signing would be a significant step backwards for a club with Arsenal's ambitions. The facts first. Summerville contributed 12 goals in 34 games for West Ham last season, decent numbers for a struggling side. His World Cup performances for the Netherlands against Japan and Sweden have attracted renewed attention, and West Ham's asking price was €50 million before the tournament, with that figure now rising due to increased competition. PSG, Aston Villa, Manchester United and Tottenham are all reportedly interested. But here is the question that matters. Is Crescencio Summerville a genuine upgrade on what Arsenal already have? And the uncomfortable answer is, probably not. He is not as good as Gabriel Martinelli right now. He is not as effective as Leandro Trossard. Arsenal are a club that has been linked with Kvaratskhelia, Barcola and Rodgers throughout this entire summer. After pursuing players at that level, arriving at Summerville would feel like a profound failure of ambition, and Gooners would rightfully feel let down. The €50 million price tag is also heading in the wrong direction. Arsenal have already identified far superior options at comparable or only marginally higher fees. Rodgers at £80 to £100 million is Premier League proven and has been the primary target all summer for very good reason. Barcola at £100 million offers a different kind of elite attacking threat. Even Solis at £34 million represents a more interesting developmental bet than Summerville at an inflating price point. There are clubs for whom Summerville is a transformative signing, teams rebuilding after a difficult season, sides looking to take the next step. Arsenal are not one of those clubs. The standard here has moved. Joining the Summerville race is one thing. Completing that transfer would be quite another. Berta must stay focused on the targets that match these ambitions. Walk away from this one completely. Now let's round things off with the story that should have every single Gooner smiling, because the Daily Mail have just revealed that Declan Rice is personally working on Morgan Rodgers inside the England World Cup camp in America. And this could be Arsenal's most powerful transfer weapon of the entire summer. Rice, Arsenal Player of the Year for the second consecutive season, is said to have been working away on Rodgers, hoping to help influence his decision. And given the relationship these two players have built as England international teammates, that kind of personal advocacy carries enormous weight that no agent conversation or club presentation can ever replicate. Rice cannot interfere in club-to-club negotiations. That is not his role. But what he can absolutely do is paint the most vivid possible picture of what daily life at Arsenal looks like. The training standards. The belief inside that dressing room. The absolute certainty that this squad is on the verge of something truly historic. Hearing that directly from one of the best midfielders on the planet, someone living it every single day, is priceless. And the groundwork is already extraordinary. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Rodgers himself fully expects to become an Arsenal player this summer. FIFA have hailed him as powerful, 14 goals and 12 assists last season. Premier League proven, physically dominant, versatile across multiple attacking positions. Alex Goldberg has also confirmed that early discussions between Arsenal and Rodgers' camp have already taken place. Rodgers probably does not even need much convincing. Arsenal are Premier League champions, Champions League finalists, one of the most exciting projects in European football right now. Rice is doing his part inside that England camp, and he is doing it brilliantly. Now it is Berta's turn to do his. Get the deal with Aston Villa over the line, bring Rodgers to the Emirates, and let this summer become the one where Arsenal truly announce themselves as the dominant force in European football. Now I want to hear from you. Is Igor Thiago the right Alvarez backup, or does Arsenal need a completely different profile? Are you frustrated by the Monga stalemate, and should Berta just meet Leicester's demands? Do you agree that Summerville is simply not the level Arsenal should be targeting? And does Declan Rice personally working on Rodgers in the England camp give you full confidence this deal gets done? Drop everything in the comments right now. I read every single one, and your debates are always absolutely electric. Let's build this summer together. And if you want every Arsenal update as we push to bring that Champions League trophy to the Emirates, hit that subscribe button immediately. Smash it right now and turn on notifications. The most important weeks of this window are right here, and we are coming for everything. Until next time, Gooners, Come on, you Gunners.